I hope I'm not interrupting, but
Can you
I do not have any audio. Okay, there it goes.
can you hear us now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So maybe we start.
Well, another round.
You know what?
Okay.
We're going to go around again now that the microphone is activated.
All right, Will Tracy, Director.
Jim McIntosh, Secretary of the Governing Council.
Tanya Rivers, Vice Chair of the Governing Council.
Alexandra Digger, member. Raven McKenzie, student council representative.
Erin Fitzgerald, GC member.
Harry Brown, Chair.
Jackie Riley, Business Manager.
And Julia, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Julia Stevenson. I'm a seventh grade STEM teacher, and I also teach a poetry elective at the middle school.
Awesome combination. Thanks for being with us, Julia.
Thank you.
Because I don't do things in order sometimes, we've already read the mission and vision. We'll go on to the agenda review. Any changes required, requested?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Very good. Have a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda is approved unanimously. Review and approval of the minutes of our November 13 meeting. Thank you, Jim. Y'all had a chance to read it. Anybody have any discussion before we have a motion or after? I'm not particular about the order myself. Yeah, Alex.
Well, no, I thought I did, but maybe it was taken care of.
Yeah, there were a few things, maybe only two, that Jim already took care of.
I'll make a motion to approve the November 13th minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Tanya, for seconding. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. They are approved unanimously. Public comment. Is there anyone here to provide public comments? Seeing and hearing no one, we'll move on. Student council report. Take it away, Raven.
You gonna take it, because everybody kind of got really busy with finals, because I was having finals for college this week, and April having it next week, so it's kind of really strong, and hopefully placement ranges for the dance, so we will see, so not any questions.
What are you moving to January? I'm sorry.
Sedan.
The dance.
Is that an all grades in the high school?
Yeah.
All grades.
Do you have a full student council, like every grade is represented? Yeah.
Looks like there's an art show up right now too. Yeah.
It's happening here this year, not at Javelina's, I guess.
Yeah, it's been here for a
Couple of
few
years,
years, yeah. I think.
their walls got botted up, they put a bunch of stuff up, you know, that's really smooth it.
Oh, bummer. That was always fun.
Yeah,
And also the friendship showcase.
okay.
And there was like an opening, right? A walkthrough of this,
We're in the art show right now.
right?
Yeah.
But there was like an official
Yes.
show.
Live music, snacks.
I'm not sure I knew about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have, but if it only went on Parrot Square, remember that some of us aren't parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You didn't hear either.
I didn't hear that.
It was on the social media platforms.
I usually get invited to the Javelina one.
Yeah.
Well, the energy showcase tomorrow morning, right?
Yep.
Also didn't know
Open to the
that.
public
Thank
at
you.
10 a.m.
Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
Not at the university.
Nope, here.
No, internship.
Internship and YCC.
And that goes on all day.
Yeah, they used to be
Yeah,
around
they used to be
4:35,
Maybe,
something like that.
okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm getting it, I'm getting them all. Kind of mixed up.
It's in the morning and it goes all day.
Oh,
Yep, all day event. Starts at 10 a.m. for the public.
Interesting.
This would include all of us except for Raven.
it'll go well.
That's it.
Okay, anything else for the student council representative?
Nothing.
No, thanks, Raven. Staff report. Julia, you're on.
Good night, guys.
Happy holidays. Thanks for
Thanks, Raven.
showing up, Raymond.
Okay, so as you guys already know, we just had the art show. Um, all of last Friday was our art day. So the kids got to participate in several hands-on experiences. We made pinch pot monsters. We brought in a professional artist that was able to help them create beautiful landscape paintings. We also went to the art show and the kids got to see their work and they were super proud of that. And then they did subtraction art with Eric at the WNMU Museum. Um, Aside from that, this upcoming Friday, we will be having our reflection day. And so the thought process there is that the kids will get to see the high school internship projects that they have up. They're going to make sure that they're taking notes, and then we're using that to help them reflect on their learning. And our hope is that they're going to be able to kind of understand what makes their presentation well, and hopefully they can get into that deeper reflection because they have been struggling a little bit with that. So they're going to focus on one of the internship pieces and reflect deeply on that. And then we'll just be reflecting on our semester essentially as a class after that point. But we've had a really great time and we're hoping to finish out the semester strong.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, Julia.
Thank you,
Any-
Julia.
Any questions for Ms. Stevenson? Did you mention the art students going to Tucson?
I did not.
Just because you mentioned the art show and then I thought maybe I missed it, but that's something they haven't done before, right?
The Tucson trip?
Yeah,
They've done that
so
before.
I've been out of touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that part of the Sojourns?
That's the freshman trip.
Oh,
Or
this
this
was
is something
art,
different.
this was
Oh.
specifically art students.
Specifically for art students. Yeah.
And I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it's new to me.
Thank you.
Huh,
New to me as well.
cool.
It's a,
One day.
One day, yesterday,
Yeah.
out back.
yeah,
Wow.
out of school time.
Long day.
Yeah, they leave at about 6 to get back at about 9:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's the charges led by Allison, Miss Phillips,
No doubt.
They seem to have a really good time.
and Maya Cheney. I want to give she's credit to.
Ms. Stevenson, which
It was art students, so I don't think it was just freshmen.
No, it
No,
was
no,
a
no.
mix. A mix. There's a
So-
couple middle schoolers, high school. Yeah, full spread.
There were a
Ms.
few
Stevenson,
middle schoolers that were invited.
which galleries or museums did you visit? You don't have to
I
give me the.
did
Oh, you-
not go
oh,
on that
okay,
whole
okay,
trip,
sorry.
so unfortunately I don't actually know.
That's okay. Maybe next year. So thanks.
Usually go to the Tucson.
Thank you.
It's a nice museum.
Yeah, they
too.
do.
I like that.
Thanks, Julia.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, feel free to stay on or to leave us.
All right. Goodbye.
with the
Thank you
line.
guys for having me.
All right.
See ya. Happy holidays.
You too.
Thanks, bye-bye. On to the business manager's report.
I normally just assume that everybody has looked at their financial reports. I've asked Will to put them up on the screen just so we can all look it up together. We will start off with the revenue account. There's not a whole lot of changes that have happened, nothing that I think that you would have seen stick out to you or. But as I expressed to Harry, I am really concerned about our expenditures. And our expenditures are due a lot because of the encumbrances and not because of overspending. As a matter of fact, we have like cut down our PO issuing to almost like none, like essential things, like
No brown bags.
no brown bags. Almost, I mean, unless, like I think I've mentioned it to several people. I haven't had a printer for a while because I don't want to buy ink. But I know that our ink machine works, our printer works down here, so I just whatever I need to do is just because I know that we're pretty tight right now. So, we have a negative in the operational. And if anybody has any suggestions as to how to fix that, I more than welcome your suggestions, but and most of it is encumbrances, and I'm hoping, me and Will were talking about this morning, that when we close some of the POs are pretty big. We don't know how much of it is gonna be used, but once we, assign a PO, for example, if we think that we need like oil changes or something like an in and out lube, we'll make that PO for, say, 2,000. So right away, that 2,000 comes out of that whole account. So I'm hoping that we can close some of those out as the year progresses.
With all the belt tightening, do you feel like, what are the most significant ways that the program has been affected from what you guys can see? And if the answer is hardly at all, that's fine too.
To be honest, like we have not been spending money at all from the beginning. Like, I mean, yeah, we bought essential things, but as far as even when the teachers ask for crayons or markers, like, do you really need some? Can we ask another teacher to get us some? So we've done that. We've
Mhm.
tightened a little bit that way.
Is a huge part of it just paying the people
Our majority of our,
their job?
yeah, the majority is on payroll. Yes.
That's-
And there's no way around it. Like, I just make sure that we do have payroll and. Yeah.
I guess it's worth mentioning too that, you know, a part of this is the $55,000 that we had to pay back in July or August for the grant that was not utilized. And so that is without that. Because that's the level of, you know, it's like 50,000, like without that, we would be a lot more comfortable.
We would be very comfortable, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was like so unexpected, and it did have to come out of operational because that's where it went in. So there was like no way of getting around it, of maybe making it come out of something else because it did not go into anything else.
So just to put some numbers on it, since you brought it up, I was gonna do this for finance committee, but right now it's a $59,000 deficit.
Mhm.
So if you take all the expenditure we've made so far and everything that's encumbered future, which includes payroll, all of that gets encumbered when you approve the job. And if income stays where it is, we finish in the hole, which we're not legally allowed to do. And I had been less worried about it before than I am now because of two things. One, it looked like our cash carryover would be about 65,000. Well, it turns out it's more like 49,000.
Hmm.
So that's a little disappointing. And I thought we could use the out of school time money to help plug the gap. But it seems like if we can do that, it's not nearly as much as I was thinking. So I think this counts as a serious problem. And I personally have misgivings about authorizing stipends to be paid from the out of school time grant. If that's gonna cause us to end up having to do something even more drastic, not to finish in the negative. Is that something that you can change at this point, Will?
What do you think, Jackie?
I mean, we haven't given them out and we
Yeah.
haven't even discussed it with the staff. It was just discussed among like in leadership meeting. But I do believe that that stipend, I mean, those stipends are what that grant was for strictly for out of school. So that limits, we can't give it like, to a math teacher, or it has to be, and then we have to also give proof of when had this taken place? Was it during school or after school?
But can we pay the salaries of after-school staff rather than giving stipends?
I believe that it's strictly for activities like after school. So nobody gets paid.
Well, we have people who get paid to do the tutoring, right, after school. We don't. I
We don't
was
have-
told we have 1/6 of Serena's and some of Scarlet
For SOS?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant by
Yeah.
tutoring. was SOS.
Okay, I see, yeah. Perhaps in that case, I don't know how that would, if you could, do 1/6 of their,
There's,
1/6 of their payment for a period of time until we could take whatever that sum would be and then put it back into operational. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes,
So that could potentially work.
right.
Yeah, it's a good option.
it would cut into what's available for stipend,
Yeah,
but in a year where we're this bad,
yeah,
stipends seem excessive.
sure.
This might be a silly question, but can you clarify the parameters of what out of school activities or?
It's exactly how it sounds, out of school, like anything that's done
Well, it's out of school time.
out of school
It
time.
could
So
be
they're
in
not-
school.
So any field trip, is
Like-
that including camping, like backpacking?
Yes,
Yes.
but not during yes, I'll say yes.
It's the time that matters, not the location.
Okay, and
Yes.
so the teachers are getting paid their salary and there is a stipend
For their time out of school that they're
on
working.
top of,
Yes,
Yes.
because it isn't part of their salaried hours.
yes.
That's just the theory.
Okay, and those are quite a few hours in that Alta.
It's quite a bit. I mean, so it's about, what is it, about $30,000 in stipends.
Yes.
So,
Expecting that?
No, they're
You're
not
saying they're
expecting
not
it.
expecting-
And it was
They've
just our-
never gotten
So
these
all
stipends
teachers
before.
have
No.
agreed to.
it's only for
do-
this grant.
No,
That's-
We don't get paid for field trips or
So like,
backpacking.
like a typical high school teacher contract will include participation on a backpacking trip as part of your tasks and responsibilities.
Okay, as their salary,
Mhm.
so it is on top of that,
Yes.
okay.
And nobody I mean, I think word has gotten around that we were gonna do that. So, but nobody really knows oh, I'm gonna get 200, you're gonna get, like, we've never discussed that with them.
But you're saying the grant funding is really specific for that.
It's for out of time.
But it's not specific for stipends. as I
Right, no, it's not,
understand it.
yeah.
It's just specific for activities that occur after or before school hours.
Okay, but either way, that money is going to be, has to be used for something like that and is taken out of operations.
What,
No, it's in its own,
Oh.
it's its own line. And it can only be used for out of school activities. It's designed to be used to pay the staff who do out of school activities and for the resources for out of school activities. So it has offset some of the other experiential ed costs, like the Tucson trip, just as an example, not necessarily that is how it was used, but theoretically that time from 6 a.m. to 8:30 and the time from 3:30 to 9:30, that is all time where that could be paid for using the out of school time grant for resources and staff. So those are the two, it can only be used in those two categories. Resources, staff, we can't use it to fix a light bulb. And we can't use it for anything that occurs between 8:30 and 3:30. Those are the parameters.
So here, what I think I hear you saying is like. We have paid, so back to the Tucson trip as the example, right? So we've paid the staff and for the resources to run that trip already.
Mhm.
So now let's pay ourselves back out of this grant for,
Some of that trip was already paid out of this grant,
okay. But if
as I
there were,
understand it.
yes,
but if there were.
But the
pieces that were not-
salaries weren't.
Yeah, so if there are pieces that are not paid for out of this grant already, let's pay ourselves back out of the grant.
That's
For
what I'm
those.
suggesting.
So
Yes,
that it
it's
isn't
Exactly right.
from operations.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think really it can only be those two staff that have contracted time out of school. Because otherwise, if you lead the Tucson art trip, you don't get paid hourly for the time when school is over. It is just a thing that you do, like you wouldn't get extra for going to facilitate a school dance or something
right.
like that.
That makes sense.
so,
Alex has been waiting.
Sorry,
If you don't
thanks,
know.
Alex.
The grant that we're talking about, you said you thought it was something and now it's less, is that correct?
Yeah, I saw,
What was the original?
early on, I think 49,000, something like that, in this grant. And I got all excited. I was like, oh, good, that's a big buffer. We do a lot of stuff after school. Surely we can make use of this. But this idea of using it to pay stipends, which I also supported, because I think our teachers deserve this stipend, I now have misgivings about supporting it. Because if we use 36,000 of that for stipends, that's not available to pay some costs that we could pay ourselves back for. To help reduce our deficit.
It's not, it didn't turn out to be less.
The grant amount has not changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
The amount available to offset our deficit has changed
Because of
Yeah.
it going.
because of the stipend. Exactly.
And the $30,000 figure is the chunk that was going to be used for the staffing compared to the other 20-something thousand that was used for resources for the out of school time.
And now what is it looking like?
It's the same deal because we haven't spent any of the staffing money yet at all.
But we are wondering if before it being used for that, it's being used for staffing to be reduced.
Yeah, so I mean, theoretically could,
It wouldn't
yeah,
be reduced, it would be used instead of for stipends, for salaries.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
That are now being paid out of operation.
so that would be $30,000 that if we used it craftily over time for different pay periods, theoretically, we could get, I don't have the, can't do the math in front of me right now, but we would then have maybe maximum 30,000 that could be used for other things, right?
I think,
Right.
I think if you include benefits, which you
Sure.
should be able to do, that you get really close to 30,000 with the two that I just mentioned.
No, it's so
Okay.
with that, so that's 30,000. Plus we got a Freeport grant for 5,000
To be used for whatever we want,
programming.
staff.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, okay.
But we could probably use the $80,000 that's budgeted for experiential ed and use some of that for maybe staff and then put the $5,000 in there. And so now you're at roughly 35,000. Then the foundation, again, to offset the experience, that's where there's the most flexibility, is the foundation could potentially contribute a chunk of money. I won't speak for them. They could potentially contribute a chunk of money, and then we're getting pretty close to that figure.
Another idea, so I'm not sure how many of you got the update, the Alex and Martin fund update email from Maddie Eagle. I'll send it out to y'all, but that fund has small grants
Mhm.
to do the things that Alex and Martin would have done had they still been with us, which is exactly something like this. If Alex had said, if you had gone to Alex and said, we're not gonna make it, she would have said, how much do you need? And let me figure out how to do it, right? So that is a potential place to apply.
Okay, that's good to know. So that's a third source. And then I think the final consideration for
Awesome.
mitigating the deficit is, don't forget that the $59,000 figure, if I'm correct, can be reduced by not filling in the full cost of some of the purchase orders that we have on here. For example, we have 4,500 to Consolidated School Support Services for their work at Jose Barrios Elementary, and it looks like that will probably be about half of that in actuality.
Is
And
that a
they're
different fund or no? Is that operational?
operational, I believe.
We're paying them out of
I
operation.
don't know, it's a good question. Do you know what we're
If we
paying?
can avoid that, we should.
We're not paying them out of operation,
Yeah.
no.
That should be this.
What about the things like the oil change, car wash?
That is,
place?
yeah.
So that right there, there's another, maybe
$1,500.
$1,500 in not taking the cars to get car washes, and we're good on oil changes for the rest of the year. So
And
you
that's
can
not
save
doom
money in
and
those
gloom,
areas.
but all of that in my head is countered by the fact that we're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
There will be more needs.
Right.
That we don't yet have encumbered.
Yep.
Hopefully they're not more than 20,000, but that would be really good if they're only 20,000.
So I would like to add, so when we get a grant, the grant comes with, like, they don't just say, here is 20,000, use it however. No, it comes with funding codes. And all those funding codes, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the funding codes, but it's a big, huge number. So each number means something. So the reason that we had decided to do the stipends is because this has an object code of 51,300. And that 51,300 is additional compensation paid to anything out of school. So it's an additional compensation, not to salaries. So that's why we had decided to do the stipends.
Do we pay any of our special ed folks for out of school time? Cause we have a big special ed personnel budget, right? That's a pretty big one. So I'm wondering if we can pay back some of, but do they do out of school time with us? Or does that shady? Is that not?
I don't think that, certainly the ancillary service folks do not. So like,
Okay.
speech language, occupational.
Like they don't go on trips or they don't?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, and so that would, that would not, it's a
Protecting
good thought,
the
though.
Of
It's a
your
good thought.
people, right, who are
Right.
people and.
Yeah.
So Jackie,
Yes.
if the grant requires that it be spent in 51,300,
Mhm.
then my idea is shot. You can't do what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
But it's not usually the case that it would be that specific. Usually it would say it's for your salaries for your staff that do out. And when we entered into the OBMS, we put 51,300 on it. So
Okay.
I'm wondering if that's what you did.
No, well, I haven't put anything in there that this is, I just downloaded it off of the budget. And this is exactly, like, I have not inputted anything and this is what I got. So I
So who do you
printed,
think inputted that?
well, who usually inputs it? Is it?
You, me, when I
Right,
worked,
right.
nobody
But when would it
ever
have
did
been done?
anything
Like at the end
except
of
me.
the school year? Because this is a brand new grant. So we've never
Who
had
was
this,
here before you.
Well,
Justine,
actually, you know what? I don't know why I'm asking, because it says right there, it's Justine.
okay.
Justine did it. So it might be
Hmm.
that
So would it be a matter of us, like,
you should ask, well, probably Sarah Cordova, whether, what object codes are allowed under this grant?
Okay.
That's how I would phrase the question.
Do
okay,
you have access to the grant and the description of what it says?
yeah, and I have it right here. That's why I was explaining that the object code is the
Right,
one
but-
piece that.
Text at the
The
grant,
text.
The grant
like the letter,
is awarded,
the award
what
letter.
it said, before anyone else did anything to this.
Right, you know, and I mean, I could get the word letter, but I just,
Just because that wording seems pretty important.
mhm.
Yeah, I agree. The award letter would help, or just asking Sarah, but the award
Okay.
letter might be easier.
Okay,
Yeah, you don't have to accept those as gospel if
so we can just change them.
often,
Okay,
I would say usually.
okay.
Yeah,
Because the grant in total is 55,891.
Right, yeah, you can see it
Yeah.
right here. Okay. Yeah, that's the number I saw that I was like, oh, good,
Mhm.
we don't have to worry too much.
Okay. Yeah, I will write out, I will ask Sarah what else, what other codes we can use on there.
Okay, thank you.
Not to belabor anything that for instance, the finance committee would be talking about, but are there any pending grants that we've applied for that we're waiting to hear about? Is there any hope on the horizon that we may still be able to award at least part of that money to staff for extra work outside of the classroom?
Well, that's what Will touched a little bit on, like we did get a couple of the Freeport grants.
Well, you mentioned that anything
Yeah.
else besides that we don't know about. I don't know about other GC members. don't know about.
That's the last significant one that I knew of,
Okay.
and we asked for far more than $5,000,
Yeah.
but
Right.
that was what we
Okay.
were allocated.
Okay. Anything else with business manager's report? Did people have any questions about the list
No.
of checks or encumbrances?
Thanks for the belt tightening. That's never fun or easy.
No,
You know, it's really hard to tell
Sure.
somebody that we can't order something that they think is essential.
Really?
I feel
So-
so fair.
But I always mention my ink, and then that seems to soften the blow. I'm like,
You're not like up in your golden tower.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have ink, so, and I show 'em my jump drive, I go down there and make copies, so that, and then right away, they're like, oh.
Maybe you could arrange for a drip to come down from the ceiling when somebody comes in with a request. Look what I have to put up with.
Yeah, have a little can.
Well,
We did it.
The foundation just filled in the gap by purchasing a bunch of supplies that had been requested.
That's right, you were passing me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Jackie was offered ink, it was not clearly taken off.
Well, I actually did fill out my questionnaire,
You did?
but yeah,
Okay, so there might be a second.
but I may not even install it until the end of the school year, just so I could
Just
continue.
keep using that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are parents ever asked to provide
Yeah, we're
supplies?
getting.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
To Allison, there's a lot of stuff.
Making
Then not
students
have
work
the
into the
beginning of
night.
the year. of
Big
the
nervous.
year,
Listen,
Yeah.
polls.
It's continuing.
Sorry,
It's like an
there's been an interruption. Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I forget. Forgot what I was gonna say. I was saying something about that.
Yeah.
But
About parents bringing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
the Amazon wish list.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's an open rolling Amazon wish list, and so things just arrive.
Is there ever a reminder
I was gonna say,
email of like, hey, this is a giving time of year?
we are approaching the holidays,
Yeah.
and the December newsletter may or may not have that as a critical component.
It makes a difference. For-
I just responded to Montessori.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You won't know too.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, I told Amanda already. Okay, anything else for the business manager?
Did our bus arrive?
You're not gonna believe me when I tell you.
I won't.
So it's there in Albuquerque, but the gentleman that we are dealing with, he just says, I will call you, I will call you. I just called him on Tuesday. And he says, I think it's almost done. I think it's almost done, but I will call you.
Okay.
So, but it's there in
What are you gonna
Albuquerque.
do?
Yeah.
And the other question that was kind of business manager related, we talked about the $2,000 fraud at the last meeting. And I said, is there such a thing as
Insurance.
fraud insurance? And I think maybe Will said, what about Palms? Somebody brought that up. Maybe you did, Harry. Did we ever find out if Palms
I'm
offers such?
still waiting. She said that she was going to call me back and I called her. And I think we've been playing phone tag, but then we were right in the middle of the audit. So I kind of dropped the ball on that, but I will call her tomorrow.
And did we find out about the audit, the
Yeah.
exit that all happened?
We did
Yeah,
have
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna talk about that next. We did have our exit audit meeting but we were told not to discuss it until it becomes
Okay.
public and it becomes official. But we do want to share that it was
Do we, with
pretty good.
that, for that process, do we get a presentation as the GC and then we vote to accept it and that's what makes it official? Because I feel like that at other organizations, that's how it works.
That is how it works at other organizations.
But that,
We are a component unit of the PED,
okay,
and so the PED does that
okay,
in some way that I don't even know.
okay.
And we just accept whatever happens. It's pretty funny.
But the findings that they pointed out, we will take those findings any day because they were.
Yeah.
Once you see them, you'll say, oh,
Negligible.
yeah.
Just as a note, I was not. The last notice I got was that the meeting was canceled. I never got an invitation to the actual meeting.
I got it about 20 hours ahead of the meeting and with the wrong time. So I actually called in and it was an hour late because they had put the wrong time on there,
Who are these people?
right?
That-
I lived in
Larson Allen.
fairly annoyed.
Let's leave them a bad Yelp.
Yeah, well.
Clifton Larson Allen.
Yeah, and I didn't know you
For
didn't
the
even get
recording.
it. I just assumed you were in the same boat I was.
So I also, like, I sent out an invite, but nobody responded back, and then I sent an additional one, so I actually sent out two. But,
That's not
I
on your first.
actually pointed out, to Justine, because she was gonna be in it too, and I told her, I said, are you okay with this time, because it says Pacific? And,
Right.
yeah, it said Pacific
Yeah.
time, because we went around her schedule, she wanted to do it at 1:15. I said, are you okay with it, because it is Pacific time? And her response was, you must have your computer set to Pacific. And I said,
It's not.
It wasn't yours. It's
"Yeah,
Francisco's.
yes, Francisco's.
Francisco's computer must be set to
Yeah,
Pacific.
so it was set for
Hmm.
Pacific.
Yeah.
And it said there, yeah.
And then he denied it when I called him.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Am I on the audit committee?
I believe that you're on both of them.
Follow-up question.
Audit.
Should we check? We check every governing.
Well, I know we
council
do.
Who's on what committee?
Committees, at the committee. one time.
Which we're there. Oh, no, we're not yet. Sorry.
Watch, let me see, and I'll tell you.
So, I mean, it's fine. Not.
No, we would
Yeah,
love for you to be there.
I'm not sure if all of the mailing lists have still been updated, all the committee groups.
Should we send your stuff to both of your emails or just to the Aldo one? Because I have both.
Let's see, the ones I'm getting are going to the Aldo email address.
So, Will, I know I brought up the need to change some of the committee groups in the email program. And that you did do the governing council members.
Mhm.
But I think every committee needs to be looked at, and I don't know if you've done that.
Say that
The
again?
members.
If I type in audit committee
Mhm.
as I'm sending an email,
Yes.
I should be
the
confident that
groups.
it's gonna go to the current.
Yes,
version.
yeah, yeah, no, that's,
And I don't think they're all
I
up to date.
don't, I think you are 100% right. There's no way they're up to date, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. On Microsoft or on Google?
no, on Microsoft, on their Outlook, right?
Okay.
We're all using Outlook, I think. Hopefully,
I think
Yeah.
governing council all uses Outlook.
yeah, that's
But
what I mean.
all those far more complicated. So in this sake, that one, okay, easily done. Maybe. Oops. Okay. These are
Is
the,
this up to date?
this is the most recent
Okay,
version.
so that was what I
Last-
would look at to make sure
So-
that
right.
the emails when you type something in is
Yeah,
correct.
so this is what you would, this would be the basis of creating those groups.
I'm gonna scroll down to audit.
Yeah,
Just
I was gonna find all the ones that, here's the audit.
Alexandra Tager.
Why does it say current?
Why does it say, why does it have three of us on there? Alexandra, myself, and Aaron.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Then I did get taken off.
I was not on the call, certainly.
No, but
Uh,
Are you aware that you're on?
I thought we discussed me moving to a different.
All right, so according to this latest version, Shack, so you're on Shack. And I don't know, we'd have to look through the recording, which we have, to see if there's a reason why you'd be on audit. I can't imagine.
I think that I agreed to that at one point, like my first meeting as an
I think so
official
too.
member. And then I thought I requested, last meeting or the meeting before, I don't remember, to be moved to something that someone else wasn't on or that felt more.
Okay,
applicable.
well,
So I'm on Shack and,
audit and that's it,
uh,
because everyone's on two, and then you're down here
I'm
on just the
also-
government.
oh, no,
Yeah, that's it.
What's,
okay. Oh,
that's audit, the one we're half looking at right now?
that's it on the left side there. So we need to remove Alexandra's name.
can you scroll up? Okay,
Yeah, I'm not on that. That says facilities.
yeah, and,
Oh, no.
Is there no
No.
space?
yeah, it's just.
Yeah, because we added a member to facilities and then the space went away.
Mhm.
So Alex, do you want to be off of the audit committee?
It's pretty low maintenance. It's pretty low demand.
Well, it's a good time to join.
Right
Yeah.
now.
Haven't been on it.
And then doing it.
What, and yeah,
I agree. There is no reason to have
I
three
mean, I don't know.
GC members on it.
If I'm only on two, then I'll stay on it, but it seems like for the next year, that's kind of a done deal, right? Like that already happened.
Okay, work it out.
Tanya,
Pick you up,
Jim,
Yeah, well, I'm on finance and
right?
SAC, so.
we'll just look at them.
Yeah, if Alexandra's already on two others,
Right, and then there's like on Shack, I think it has a note next to Heidi, but like she is not on that.
Shack?
anymore.
Remove.
Yes, where's,
Remove exclamation on Shack. Right above. Yeah,
I definitely wrote that and did not remove it. That's funny. All right, so Tanya, you're on committee and SAC, and that seems like that's been, I think every new governing council member has some shuffling until you find the timing that works, and those seem to work well for you.
If we can stay to the fourth Thursday on the curriculum one, because the.
Yeah, until an inevitable trip modifies it or a
Yeah,
vacation.
that's, I think I haven't sat in on that one because things change and there's always a
my secret code's not working.
third Thursday.
Can we not do a review of every single one and just take Alex off of audit and move on?
Yeah, let's move on.
All right.
You don't have to tell me twice.
But did you take her off?
But we are doing committee reports right now or director
What?
reports? right
You're going to.
I'll do it right now.
Thank you. I will breathe so much easier. You could actually replace her with the name of the committee and then we'd have a space.
dang.
What?
I was just looking at you in the eye while I deleted it for the satisfaction.
Well, I'll see what we can say.
Okay, thank you.
May I also suggest that highlight?
The other ones are not. Now they're all just bold. The highlighted are not the names. of
Why
the-
are some highlighted?
Because they meet regularly.
What?
Well,
the
finance
highlights are
meets
just-
every, yeah, but then there's the
Okay.
pink highlights, which are meeting regularly.
I fell into the trap myself, sorry. Thank you. Director's report. Thank you, Will.
Yes, very welcome. Director's reports. Share screen so the whole world. Right, this is the plan. Yeah, I saw. And for the second semester. All right. 10-minute timer on this. What was the color last time?
Kind of a teal turquoise.
Can anyone confirm or deny?
I
I'm
second.
just going with, I never watched the video.
I went with
Don't watch the video.
the forest green for a wintry, like a balsam fir type for the northern boreal forest, of which I think fondly of. Okay, the usual review enrollment is at 183.
Wow.
Which is, we've had a total decrease on the year of 6 or 7 students off the top of my head. And then the real loss is because we had about 17 more students last year, but between spring and fall, about 10 of them went elsewhere. So we,
Last year.
yeah, so during the summer transition, 10 students didn't return. And so I can't speak to that experience, but for the 7 that have left Aldo, it has all been due to extenuating circumstances. Families move.
Is it worth trying to find out why those other 10 didn't return?
It surely is worth looking into.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
Do we do an exit, do we have an exit, survey that we send families who decide not to come back?
We've talked about this.
We have,
Yeah,
we have
That's a good question.
many
Yeah.
times.
Mhm.
talked about it.
But I don't think we follow.
Yeah.
Sports.
I think yeah.
That's a very common
Yeah.
answer.
Mhm. No.
I think it's still, even if we're finding out things that we can't do anything about, it's really important, because when we find out things we can do something about it, then, we'll make a change. We can't do anything about expanding our sports programs, but
No,
Yeah,
but
that's
we
fine.
can,
Yeah,
right.
but you can play nicely with Silver High, so students can. participate.
right. I think.
No, no, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
No, but we
Like,
don't
I'm-
totally.
I'm not being accusatory, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's what's
Right,
in your
right.
control, right? Is
Yeah.
play, is, adjusting the school day, sure, we're not gonna.
But
have
it's
a-
not just adjusting the school day.
Or not the
The
school,
trips are the big thing.
yes, no, as a
Right.
soccer mom,
Yep.
That's always been the issue
Yep.
at this school, and we have always said, well, we're not gonna sacrifice that
Mhm.
just so students can play in sports or be in the band. Right? Those are the 2 big things. So yeah, it's in our control. But it's kind of a big shift.
I think also though, with this sports one, when you have families who have bought in to the Aldo way, or they understand the value of those trips, it's a non-conversation with your kids, right? Like from personal experience, like my Zev, who's very way into soccer, right, would miss a soccer game for a backpacking trip any old time.
Yep.
Because he understood that happens once, whatever. So there's this, it's not just sports, I guess is what I'm saying. It's also
It could be both.
it's also fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I
So
agree.
if a family's here and they don't buy into what happens here at Aldo, then the sports feel like the most important thing,
I agree.
right? So it's, maybe there's a little more digging to do there.
We've presented.
Would that-
Excuse me.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, we've presented contracts before to parents in a pre-year meeting, and we sat down, we used to schedule meetings during the summer, sit down one-on-one meetings where different staff would come in, sit across the table from a new family and say, this is what the school's about, and they would sign and then
Yeah,
blow up the backpacking trips, it's been hard.
yeah.
That doesn't mean,
I think those people do leave.
Yeah.
People Who aren't.
Yeah.
Bought in. Right, those are the ones who. Absolutely.
Right.
And sometimes it's actually is what's best for the student. Right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
not just the parents not buying in. We've had very dedicated parents. I'm thinking of one who was a chair of this committee, of this council, who had a kid for whom sports were so important personally that he went to Silver.
Yeah.
And we totally understood that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that family was way bought in.
You know, I support whatever's, but whatever, you know, each student has their own
Exactly.
environment in which is the best, and I am not a barrier to that in any way. And I will say of the 6 or 7 students that I've left this year, it has all been, you know, easily explainable, which is not necessarily the case to provide what seems like a bit of reassurance to some of the other educational entities across the country, which are atrophying students at a far higher rate for reasons that are not as well understood. But because our school is so small, it's pretty easy to understand how and why everyone has left. For example, we're like between 2.5 and 3.5 per, you know, maybe 3% of a loss. And, you know, Silver or Cobra, you know, you're looking more at like 15% at this point last year,
Okay,
you know,
so-
comparatively over the years. Yeah.
So do we want to have some sort of exit?
I do.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I mean, why don't we put that on next month's agenda?
I don't know, okay. Because you think there's something for us to discuss besides saying to Will, we think the
Oh.
school should do this. I don't think it's a
You don't think it's
governing
agenda worthy?
council
Okay.
issue.
Except we
unless you
keep
see
talking
something.
about it.
But here's what, I think we keep talking about it because we've had turnover. And it's gonna keep happening, and I'm not sure that the handoff includes everything
Sure.
that we've asked our directors to do, which is understandable to me. So I know we've talked about it since Jerry Boswell was director. But there's no reason to think that Jerry passed that on to Michael, who passed on to
Right.
Craig, who passed it on to Eric, you know,
Yeah.
that's why we keep having to say, oh yeah, by the way, we would like you to do this. But I don't think it takes a policy.
How about this? You don't have to make it an action item on the next agenda, but let's have it as a follow-up. And then if we'll have an exit interview created and you can look at it.
Mhm.
How would that work for everyone?
I think that's a great.
Great.
Yeah, that-
Okay,
Okay,
Feedback.
there's only 3 minutes left of this. Strategic plan, there's only 2 pieces of the strategic plan to report. Again, thanks to Dr. Anthony Smith for continuing to support that pro bono.
yeah.
The 2 pieces are ensuring that everyone has job descriptions and the trip onboarding process. And the trip onboarding process is something that is still in the works with Maya and myself, because we have different trips that require different onboarding. And so there's multiple levels to be had for that. Specifically for volunteers for backpacking is my risk management, where I'm going to emphasize my initial where the energy is going for now, because well, if you're well prepared to do a backpacking trip, you're probably going to do okay on a trip to Tucson or something like that. So the job description piece is done with one exception, and that is Allie Hennigan's job, which is encumbrance of so many different things at one that instead of writing that job description, writing a couple of different ones. Because in the future, I'd like to divide that role up into a few different people. So that's where we're at on that. Facility updates. I made my capital outlay request at the prospectors gathering last week to Representative Terrazas and Senator Ramos. And they emphasized their commitment and interest, desire to ensure Aldo continues to succeed and Jose Barrios is the next home for us. And I also received some critical feedback from them about the $1 million conflict with the former president of Western Mexico University and former Senator Hemphill here. And while I made it clear that Aldo Leopold Charter School itself is not actually included in any lawsuit, or there is no fraudulent or nothing of that nature has occurred, that was there was, you know, that needed to be addressed. And if you're in the political world, and I asked them for $250,000 to replace and repair all of the roofing at Jose Barrios. And so I'm just wanted to make it extra. I was willing to engage in that conversation. I'm continuing to engage in that conversation because I want to clear the water. And so have our government understand that an investment with Aldo is a wise investment, especially using public money for a public facility for a public school. And that what happened with the $1 million experiential outdoor ed funding was used as it was supposed to be used. And of course, Jackie, myself, most of us, or a lot of us were not necessarily involved in that process. And so I
Right.
can't speak to any of the predecessors, but that was just a piece that I wanted to address clearly and say we're, moving forward as much as one can.
Were you able to bring up the change in the small school adjustment as the reason behind the grant being, I guess it was a grant being awarded to us? Because that certainly ties into some legislative decisions.
Right, that was exactly what I said.
Yeah.
That was
Okay,
exactly
okay.
what I said, and I did convey that as things stand currently, Aldo is likely to receive the small school adjustment again next year from the district level due to Silver's enrollment, and that will make any investment in the Aldo Leopold Charter School far more comfortable for someone who is providing that funding. Okay, PSFA came to visit our facility here at Ridge Hall. They did their full evaluation and all was well for the most part. A couple of windows. This building is old single pane windows needed to be secured in a better way. Like with individual paints, you don't see that a lot anymore. So
Right.
there were some of them were starting to get a little rattly, and so just a little bit of sealant there. And then I'm gonna skip any of the acquisition pieces as that will come up later on
Okay.
in the director's report. Quick, I'm gonna do a very fast rundown of all the experiential ed stuff. This photo right here is the art trip group in Tucson. Oh, so you all get to see. Thought that was
It's a
pretty
big group.
cool.
From very recent.
Yeah, 22 students.
Nice.
Note that not all students choose to be in the photos. Or staff, myself. We also had as has been discussed, the art show was here. That was well attended. Family, community members, live music. All those students performed. Snacks. It was a very nice scene. During November into December, the seniors Pete Rankin led a food drive for the Commons, and we donated hundreds of items to the Commons for Thanksgiving. The Sonoran Sojourn occurred, and that was a wonderful time by all. You'll see some photos of that in the next couple of slides. And senior retreat occurred today. So all the seniors went and had their senior retreat, begin the process for planning their graduation commencement ceremony. And we finished our the suicide prevention training that Aldo Leopold was a bit of the pilot study for in Southwest New Mexico. There's an initiative to provide these resources to everyone in the state. And so I sort of jumped at the opportunity to do that, and every single student in the school and staff participated in that. And so that was really awesome to see that done.
Wow.
Took a lot of, they came here several different times, and so that's done. That was great. Quick rundown on the experiential ed stuff right there. Audit, as Jackie was saying, is completed. The specific details are yet to be revealed, but we'll leave it at that. And then planning, this is sort of like the planning time of year for the future. So like exploring the calendar for next year and considering the modifications as it relates to the funding and the SEG and the small school adjustments. There's a lot to consider there, but we're in that process right now. So if you have input or you want to be involved in that, you can discuss that with me further. Additionally, besides the calendar, there's also the staffing model. And so I've been in discussions with the middle school and high school and special ed on how we're going to improve our staff. And we operate on a very skeleton crew of sorts right now with our limited funding and maybe wear different hats. And so trying to find ways to increase the student experience and the ability for staff to not feel as burned out without overextending our finances. So the planning piece left at the end there because that'll be on there for the next couple of months while those pieces we revisit like the calendar and the staff.
As far as the new daily schedule goes, have students and staff positively responded to that? Do you feel like it's solving problems between middle school and high school staff? I mean,
It's a good question. I don't have the results in front of me now, but I did a survey on that.
Okay.
I did a family, student, parent survey and a staff survey, and the vast majority of people preferred the straight schedule instead of the block schedule. It was like 75 or 80%
Yeah.
that said that they were in favor of it.
Of the straight schedule.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I mean, part of in the block schedule, if you missed one of your core blocks, then you
Yeah.
only had one chance that week to get it all in there. And by having classes only be an hour, it has forced our instructional efficiency to increase. And it also allows for actually more instructional time overall, which the PED appreciates. So
Interesting.
It's worked out really well. I don't intend to change that.
Good question.
The calendar is likely to change, including the planning to have early release on Wednesdays and on alignment with Guadalupe Montessori and Silver consolidating.
Oh, that is hard for families. And we only do it twice
In a
a
year?
month. No,
Oh.
twice a month, not every month.
But I should say, when I say early release, I don't mean a half day.
Oh,
What do
what do
you
you
mean?
do? What do you mean?
I mean like 2:30 instead of 3:30. Because in order to remain compliant with the PED and their required professional learning hours. Otherwise, it requires staff to work on all of their own time to do their own professional learning, and that 1 hour spread out over a large chunk of time reaches that figure. And it's also tricky to, I mean, with the Montessori has its own conflict, but specifically with Silver, because we have teachers whose child are at Silver or their husband is at Silver, and so that can create its own sort of thing. And as I said at the end of the last slide, that it's the planning phase, and so nothing is committed for sure. There's too many variables still.
Have, and you just said this is like very preliminary, have staff or will they get to, give their input or vote or opinion on this, on the early release for professional development?
Totally.
And currently, what is the option for professional development hours? You said outside of school, but like there are times during
Right.
school,
Prep
right?
periods, and there are some professional learning days in the calendar. Not as many as one would like. There never are. The PED requires more training hours than they will pay for. And so that just creates a tricky balance that requires some flexibility in solving. And yeah, there's no solution yet. It just is one of the easiest approaches to address that issue, is just to shave off that 1 hour once a week, once every 2 weeks, and then cumulatively you wind up having quite a bit.
Just
there.
as like a, I don't know, suggestion or option, not of like the changing what hours that you're suggesting, but before the Montessori school went to this, because this is the first year that they're doing the early release at 1 o'clock, like very early. There was a survey sent to staff and to families, I believe, but don't quote me on that. That asking whether they preferred full in-service days, like after a holiday or after a break, or twice a month early release half day.
That's a good question.
And some people voted for full in-service days because they felt that it was more productive having a full day without students at the school, versus but there was a vote, and yeah.
Yeah,
That's kind of how we voted that. And to try and work with silver schools.
right.
obviously.
Yeah, trying to work with silver schools, maximize our SEG, and I don't personally have a dog in the fight. I'm not I don't care too much. So it's whatever the people want at the end of the day is what we will do. Yes. And then at the end, someone will always not like the schedule. I'm just gonna skip through this because I'm already over my time limit here of our students presented at the panel. They were on a panel at the Safe School Summit in Albuquerque, and they were all over the that's Kale, one of our students.
On the left.
Middle. if you're interested, you can look up Safe School Spelling. You can read.
Yeah.
There's more things out there. If you want specific resources.
So
I'll give
thanks
them
for
to you.
sharing.
Yeah, they got a big chunk.
They don't,
Is that what-
take it away.
Yes, yeah, they took it back. The federal. They took it back.
Makes sense, but I hadn't thought.
Yep. All right, last thing here. I know I'm over the limit. This is some nice Sonoran Sojourn photos.
I know that pool.
Okay, and that concludes my
Thanks, Will.
portion for now.
Any questions for Will? Will, are we gonna discuss sort of the broad outline of an offer to Silver for Jose Barrios under the Facilities Committee? I wasn't sure if we were gonna discuss it as part of your report.
I think we can do it under the new business item.
Oh, there it is.
I didn't mean that in like a
That was-
sassy
No,
way.
you weren't sassy at all. I knew, it's so funny. I read those and I decided, oh my God, I forgot to put it in.
By the way, one last thing, since we're moving into
Is it
committees
late?
now, I did consider creating a calendar committee and then I didn't even need to send out a poll. Thought of another committee is not well received.
I want to mention an aside, I did not know that that person in the middle, I had seen that clip
Yeah.
before at the safe school. I didn't know the person in the middle was
Yeah.
our student.
Yep.
She showed up at the Democratic Party of Grant County meeting last night. And said, I'm a high school student, but she didn't say where, and I was curious. Her goal is to be president by 2048. That's what she told us. I was, oh, okay.
It's in the cards, I'd say.
She,
Yeah.
yeah, she had very good presence,
Yeah.
very,
She'll be
Yeah,
just
very
old enough
mature.
too. You have to be 35.
I know,
She's
she
gonna-
took
yeah.
exactly right. No, I did it, when she said it, I did it in my head. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that works.
Also, don't want to let
She'll
Pete and
beat Bill
Serena
Clinton.
not get any credit for their role in the safe school. Serena was selected by Lieutenant Governor to be on the panel.
Oh, nice.
And, Pete, as our risk management chair, was also a representative. So I just want to make sure that they
Yeah,
get
thanks.
they get the credit where credit is due.
Beautiful.
I was at home and I was watching just the commercials, you know, when they do the little trailers. And I'm like, that man looks like Pete. And then, and I said, I'm gonna get my phone out because I want to show Pete that this man looks like him.
Doppelganger.
And then they came out with a story and I'm like, that's Pete. Yeah, I know him. So it was just funny.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, I don't know if there are any committee reports, but because I didn't poll people.
I can give a very brief rundown on the committee reports.
Okay.
The curriculum committee had been working, the graduate profile has been a huge part of what the curriculum committee has been working on. And that's related to our next professional learning opportunity is around the vertical alignment for our curriculum, especially the middle school, high school transition and ensuring that freshmen coming into the high school are well prepared with what is required and that the middle school is teaching things that are relevant and that there is no repeat. And there are a few that there's some adjustments there. SAC, great job of supplying school supplies and setting up events and coordinating stuff. We have some wonderful t-shirts for our staff in the works.
We have a tentative picnic planned for April 10th
April 10th.
at the Hearth.
Picnic at the heart.
Yes. There's gonna be activities that show off, that highlight what Albert.
As a fundraiser?
No.
Or, oh,
As a fun
The foundation is,
As a fundraiser.
okay.
the foundation is, foundation is looking at trying to put on a fundraiser.
For something.
Not that, but that's just fine. We're super fun. All right.
Okay, other ones that have relevant things to report. Restorative practice is working on combining two behavioral matrices, one with a traditional consequence-based component, and then restoration to occur afterwards. For example, if you get into a fight, you don't just get to do the peace path and return on with your day. You will receive a more traditional consequence, and then the restorative part is how do you return back into the community and how do you restore the piece in which you have altered. So there's those two that kind of fit together in that way. I thought.
I think that was the committee I had asked about being on, the restorative practices, or maybe I never said that.
Now that I look
Maybe
over, I don't
this
see what we
isn't
couldn't.
the moment.
You made a mistake.
How easy it is.
Look at that, that.
Well, then, Alex is back on.
Oh, you're in there.
I don't know.
No, we don't,
There he is.
we don't have to worry about it till next July.
Love it.
I have a question about that restorative practices ones.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if in that committee, they have a mechanism for the student voice in process. I am saying this because I have a lot of conversations with all those students, because I have all those students in my house, right? And they have a lot to say. And I'm thinking that they would have a little bit more buy-in with some things, if they felt like their other people were hearing them.
Yeah.
Besides their mom.
So to have
Yeah.
a student representative.
A student or just, I don't know what that looks like, I don't know, but I think that right now there's not a lot of buy-in from the students that I'm
restorative-
talking to.
On restorative practice.
On just like what they're seeing as, people just can get away with anything they want around here. Like, they don't get it, you know what I mean?
Right, and they would need to read educational law practice, probably would answer their questions more than restorative. Because I can understand.
No,
where
but they
they're
might,
this-
but there might be some buy-in, there, you might get them on your side, or they might be able to understand it a little bit more if they're involved.
Is Iris able to attend the meetings?
So
I know
that's the
there's
one.
just one student on there.
There's one thing I will say is that the student engagement in all of the committees is inadequate.
Yeah.
Overall, I would say, and I think part of that is they occur after school and students leave.
Developmentally, like, what do we expect them to be doing? You know what I mean? Like, it's totally appropriate. I just think for this one in particular, like, this has been a thing that has been talked about a lot and a lot and a lot. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what the solution is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want just to clarify, what I'm hearing is there's sort of two issues,
Okay.
and one of which is actually a legal issue, and the other is the restorative practice of like, what is the best way to do these kind of things? And then what are the laws that limit how, because I think what I'm hearing is like students keep getting away with stuff, and like, why are they still here?
Kind of, why are they still here? Well, and well, there is a bit of a restorative piece to that. Like, why are they still here? What have they done behind the scenes that I don't know about, that they still deserve to be here?
And there are parts that are private.
Of course, and they know, they get that, but I'm thinking if there was anyways, it's just an idea, because I hear, this causes friction in the community.
Oh, yes.
And so I'm just
Unfair.
Jim's been waiting.
They just don't know about it.
No, I think they don't understand, as in they don't know about what, they don't get it. And it's hard. I get it that it's hard,
Yeah.
but I think it also is shaking the foundation of the community.
It is, and it is.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there was there's a precedent for having an equal number of staff and students on a committee like this. And this was in a private school. I don't know what New Mexico law is regarding this, but I know there was a therapeutic approach, and students don't have a role in that. That was professional staff. And then there was a consequence, and we had a hearing. It grew out of an honor committee. And there were certain things that we wouldn't address, but student drug use on campus, there would be a panel of 4 students and 4 staff. And they would say, what did you do? How do you want to be reintroduced into the community? It was incredibly effective, and it was automatic buy-in, because it's not just, the man coming down on you, but these students, peers, people they loved, would say, what you did really hurt the community, and it put a lot of people at risk, and that is effective. I don't know if you want to deal with, there was training that went into it too, and that was a.
You know why that went away?
What's that?
You know why that went away?
It didn't go, it was at another school where I taught, and I was in charge of it, and it was a lot of work, but it was very effective, I thought.
Yeah, that seems really meaningful. I'm wondering, I don't know, maybe devil's advocate, if that committee of students, once it was resolved and however it was resolved, the rest of their peers they would not share what happened in that
Yeah.
committee, but could say it was resolved. Do you think they would hear that, or would they say,
don't-
what, like?
Yeah, I do not know. I do not know what the solution is, because it's even hard to talk about in the households, right? But I do know that it seems to be shaky. It is preventing the school from having a solid foundation. And so I think it needs some attention.
I will tell you this, while following FERPA and HIPAA
Sure.
privacy rights, I know exactly what you are talking about, and there are outliers and legal components involved in that, and for 97% of the students, would never know what the behavioral matrix or restorative matrix was because it's not relevant for them. And for the 3%, 1% of that is what you're hearing.
Well, and I think nobody's doing the glasses yet, so I'm gonna keep going for just one more thing I wanna say is I I think what I think really what it is what I'm hearing is really the students who are like buying in and they want to be here and they're doing what they should be doing and they're in class and they're attentive and they're doing all the things. And then they're seeing all of the resources being
Oh,
spent
yeah.
on a few squeakies,
Mhm.
right? And that's what we talk about in our house. I get it. I get that. You know, I had one of these students, and this is not my, well, whatever, I'm trying to be delicate, right? You all know
Yeah,
who
sure.
these kids are.
I
But
genuinely-
they're very eloquently saying things like, why doesn't my education matter as much as theirs?
Totally.
They
Why?
need to talk to their legislators.
No,
I'm not kidding.
And maybe that's what maybe there's some engagement in that can happen. Anyways,
Yeah.
I feel it, I feel attention.
Yeah.
I've been feeling this tension for
Yeah.
years and I'm just,
I think it's super important you brought it up.
yeah.
And I think it's probably not helpful for me to say this, but I swear that's a constant.
Yeah,
Forever.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't like having things not resolved or settled. It's the,
It's not a
okay, I'm gonna go.
Well-
I'm
Not a
gonna.
math problem.
As Will implied, there's laws that
Yeah,
make it
legal,
that.
it's legal components that,
That require it never to be settled.
Mhm.
right, yes,
Yes.
yes.
So, do you have other committee reports?
Shack meets on the 15th, if you're a Shack member. That's it,
Risk management meets next week too.
yes.
Yeah, yes. And curriculum didn't meet this month because of, we're gonna go full bore in 2026, we hope.
Sorry, what time for the shop meeting? At 4?
I believe it's at 4. Check your email for an email from Nurse Mark Gomez.
Okay, I think
Right.
we can move on. Old business. We had 5 policies we committed to consider today for action.
Yeah.
And I want to start by apologizing since I'm on the policy committee. I accepted that these have been reviewed and when I finally read them, did not feel like they had been reviewed. And I could have done that earlier, so I'm sorry. I did not do that earlier. Let's go one by one.
Okay.
Dental exam verification policy.
Is this a state mandated?
All of this is why I accepted it. What was said was these were all state mandated and we used the language that we required to use and there's no thinking involved. And you can tell they used the language from the law without thinking because it doesn't apply to the school in many cases. Jim.
Well, for instance, I read the dental compliance policy and I thought, how in the world
Yeah.
are we ever going to enforce this? I spent tons of time trying to enforce and not enforce, but work with my school families about immunizations. I had to report to the state. I had an immunization summit, where I talked to parents who were anti-vaxxers. And I also think this one really, I always took my kid to the dentist, but it seems kind of strange that we would like, does a child need to go annually to get this signed off? And is it another rote thing that's just fake compliance, are we really gonna boot a kid from out of Leopold because their parents didn't take them to the dentist, and so on? I just think these things are very hard to enforce. I'm way pro immunization, so I think that's something that we need to push in terms
But
of.
are you, so,
Okay.
I don't want anybody confused. We're not on immunization.
We're not, but
We're
I'm
on
saying
dental.
it's,
Okay,
I feel like those are quite related.
Yeah.
well, the
There-
dental, they can just say, we didn't do it. We
Yeah.
don't want to, right? It's paragraph 2.
Okay,
It says if the student,
Yeah,
parent or
that's right.
guardian, I'm sorry.
Sorry, but the first, okay. go
On
ahead.
the screen.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
okay,
there
so
you go.
yeah, number 2 says they can just say, we know the risks, we're not doing it.
Yep.
So,
And so that maybe that becomes part of the medical form thing that you fill out
Yeah.
at the start of the year. It's just that easy, right? Like,
I never had these on file. Immunizations, yes, I never remember
that's-
seeing one of these.
No, I didn't.
well, but when did you leave the school as nurse?
23,
Okay, so
right?
for 2 years, we were out of compliance?
but I
Because we're supposed to have these on file starting July 1 of 21.
never saw it.
Right, well, that doesn't mean we're not supposed to, right?
No, okay.
I'm sorry, Jim, I don't understand why you're saying you never saw it. It doesn't. I don't mean to be
Is there a
Well,
form?
picking a
Because
fight.
No, it's not a fight, but there's no,
I don't know if on the medical form it has anything about it.
that's all, it was,
It's up to us to add it, right?
right, so we probably need to do something about it, because I feel like I was aware of these policies. I never once heard from an MPED or the state health officers about this.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mark knows about it.
Well,
And
Mark
some
is the one who submitted
schools-
these to the policy committee,
Okay, well then.
All of these
okay,
came from
good.
Mark.
Okay. that-
all 5.
that's-
I'm not totally sure how enrollment and registration works here, but some schools, as part of the registration or enrollment packet or forms you filled out, it says date of last dental screening
Yeah.
as a sign off or initial. We also, or
Yeah,
I was wondering if there is are there free dental screenings done at Algo? Does anyone come?
never
Is
happened.
that Montessori
No, we had-
vision screening?
There was a time we did vision.
Hearing. And someone comes.
And hearing.
I did those for special education.
And then also a form that then, so after the dental folks who come and do that screening, there's a form that goes home with each child saying what they found, and it's, pretty broad spectrum of like suspicious activity, or like everything looks great, see your doctor every 6 months, but it is. I don't know, at this age, I don't know if that's relevant.
Okay, so a basic question is, do we want to get into the weeds as the governing council and send this back to policy committee with specifics like that? Or B, do we want to send it back and say, make it relevant to the school?
Can you
Because right
pull
now
that
it's
page, Bill?
general.
yeah.
Or C, do we want to make a few small changes ourselves and pass it?
Are we able to make those?
I believe
Is
so.
the state-
My vote in this case, not in all the policies, in this case, my vote is C.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think that we can eliminate paragraphs B and C. And we can add public education before the word department in the very first sentence.
This one?
We would eliminate B and C completely. We would zap them. They have nothing to do with us. That's for the state. That's came from statute. It's aimed at the PED.
The secretary shall, yeah.
Exactly.
Not our,
Not our secretary.
right,
No.
no, the
That's the
secretary.
Secretary of Public
Right,
Education.
right.
Exactly.
So B and C are irrelevant to us, shouldn't be there.
And I'm 1 and 2 under.
Right.
All of B and
Yeah,
C,
yeah.
all of them, and D.
And D.
Yep, and D. Sorry, I left off
Department,
D. All that can be deleted. And then I am willing to say that because it's in law, that we just pass a policy that says without the letter A there and without the date, it just says a student shall not enroll in Aldo unless the student is provided in accordance with protocols established by the Public Education Department, 1, and then 2, to let them out of it, a letter. I think that we can just say that and move on.
I will support
They'll
that.
just be in the enrollment packet.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
but if you think we should be providing screenings, then we can send it back.
That doesn't need to be my.
Okay.
Business. I can be
yeah, I support that.
Will's.
Yes, I need more business.
So, Will, if you don't mind,
But as a parent, it begs to, what is satisfactory evidence? Who's gonna collect it? Where is it gonna be collected?
That's to me where the putting in a date.
So we
That
could
was
send
the
it back
opposite.
and we could ask the policy committee to find out what those protocols are, because that's the only way we can answer that question. If you feel we need to do that, we can do that.
I mean, look, I don't,
This is a policy. I feel like we can tell the administration, you need to do this.
yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have a policies and it says satisfactory evidence, then what, then we need to.
Then the
we're not just
administration
writing
needs to
policy
say
book,
what's-
We should have some,
I,
or
not
not.
always.
Just no dental policy.
no, I think we're required to have it.
Okay.
That's what I was curious about, was like, are we required? We are required by the state.
Apparently, as of July 1 of 2021.
Okay,
Why
We're
don't we
required
put a
to have-
question on the medical form that says.
Yeah,
Addresses
that's it.
dental.
Exactly. So
And
that,
that's
but that's not
probably-
up to us. That's up to the administration.
Okay.
So you have the policy first, then you can put it on.
Okay, well, that's our,
Jim, you raise your hand.
This is really complicated because what's the real purpose of this? I think the purpose is, for instance, if a student needs some dental attention for speech therapy reasons, then a parent signing off and saying, yeah, it's sufficient. Whereas a nurse who's a little bit proactive says, look, it's really good if your child gets to a dentist or has some corrective work because he has a speech impediment. I just feel like we should come at it from a public health standpoint or something, where you're looking to make student wellness your priority. And I don't know that this addresses it. I would have to sit down and think this through a long time. This was the first one I read and I felt like, what does this accomplish? I can't tell what it's for. Yeah.
And
I
that's
feel like if we
important.
ask for medical history or medical form, which we do, then a dental or question should be included.
and on the medical form, you don't get to opt out on that, like we have to submit a physical form filled out by a physician.
Right.
And
Okay.
so, and there's all sorts of ways to do that in the community for low cost and, right, cause they do clinics and all that stuff, so the community is set up to facilitate that happening, mostly for sports, but Aldo uses the same form, right? Dentists are not set up the same way, so if you say you must have a dental screening, that becomes, it's a bit of a, for enrollment,
I
like
would-
you were saying, that becomes a bit
I
of a
would urge
burden.
us not to get into the weeds on each of these policies. That's why we have a committee. These are all excellent points. I'm not
Okay,
denying
then-
that at all. But we have no chance of getting through this meeting if we take on the committee's work.
Yeah, so I would, I suppose, make a motion to send this back to the policy committee with notes, please.
And the notes I've got on here is what is the purpose of the policy? And that's a common thing to have, why we're doing this. And what constitutes satisfactory evidence? Are those two
Yeah.
notes adequate?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, awesome. I second your motion.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. Next, diabetes management.
Oh my goodness, I admit I didn't really read through all of this because it was so much.
I actually think this is a good.
Good, I agree.
Fine.
This one I
Okay,
have
good.
0 notes
I
on.
think we should,
Thank you, Jim.
Diabetes self-managed by students policy.
Motion by Alex,
Second,
second by Tanya. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nice.
thanks, Jim,
Look
for
at
reading
that.
it, and I so trusting.
I do too.
Good, you too, you too. I'm very,
Well,
okay.
okay. Health curriculum opt-out
Okay.
policy.
Send it back.
Yeah,
Let's start with Alex. I saw her
Yeah.
first.
and what is sexuality performance standard?
Exactly.
That's what I
That
thought.
was- that was not really. on-
If you need to ask, you maybe should. No.
Substandard performance.
I mean, I just don't know what. We're
It's
letting them off.
said a few times.
Is it a piece of the class?
Don't look at me.
Sorry.
Harry.
Yeah,
I,
so
my wife grades me on that and that's it.
we moved, so I guess we moved to send this one back.
With that question.
For
Well,
starters.
That's one thing I want to send back for. I would like to add one other critique of this. I feel like any family who's opting out of standard sex education should have to have a phone call with either the teacher of the course or the school nurse, because I know there are religious factors in this, but I still think anybody can hear good, healthy attitudes about sexuality presented. You don't have to agree with them. Nobody's going to make you agree with them, but I feel like opting out is a really bad idea. And I feel like there should be a conversation between nurse or teacher and parent. We don't have to make a big production out of it, but that's me.
So we are going to, I think, have a motion to return this to committee. The only note is that question, what are sexuality performance standards?
I mean, I think Jim kind of brought up follow-up.
Yeah, I think there needs to be, like, if the family opts out, there should be a conversation with.
But that is part of our
professor.
policy.
Yeah.
I would say is, since we don't know what that is.
Well, I
Yeah.
think I know what it is, but I get you, yeah.
Okay, so is it a piece of the class or is it the entire class?
Good question.
I think it's a lesson in the class, like abortion is a way to terminate a pregnancy that's moral, like that would be a problem in curriculum for the family.
Because the whole class is health.
Yes, you would opt out of lessons for,
Each one.
yeah, lessons on same-sex relationships.
I would like to hear I guess my question would be to send back to the committee, what does that piece mean and what units are we talking about? How much opting out is there? Because we, as the governing council, understand this as a component of a health class, but we don't know which components. I guess, is that?
Yeah.
that's what we're hearing.
Well, and then Jim adds, do we want an extra layer of, I don't know, verification or something with the parents?
It's not so much
Yeah,
verification.
that was the wrong word, but.
Yeah. That's the policy committees.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ours. I'm just making that suggestion since it's going back anyways, like, could you build that in? Because it doesn't have to be an antagonistic
It can
conversation.
be ours though, right? If we feel strongly about any of these policies, we can say, hey, committee,
No.
include X measure.
I would have to say that I would not include that measure, mostly because it adds another layer to somebody else's job to talk to that person. And how often is it gonna happen?
I think it's
Why-
rare.
Why do we actually?
I also think it's rare. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I can count on one hand the times I heard about it in 16 years.
So maybe they can just consider it. Maybe we can just send it back and
Yeah.
say, could you
Consider,
what happens when they opt out? Where does it, like, you know,
What's good question?
what happens?
What's the
well,
protocol?
Like, is there follow-up? Is there, like, they just missed those lessons? Do they have alternative assignments? It's like bigger, it could be bigger than just, or more stuff than just, like, we don't know what happens. You opt
I
out.
think Steve gave more.
And a follow-up question, are there any other classes that students can opt out of a portion of, out of discomfort? Like in the school and in what is taught in science, math, language arts? And why is that
Theoretically,
allowed?
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah,
Students can
I
opt out of
agree.
anything at any point.
Hence,
Yeah,
not
any curriculum,
really
yeah.
opt out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, sometimes I mean, I don't know if we ever do this, but I know that at some schools, notes get sent home about movies that are going to be shown.
Yeah.
Oh, people opted out of the pig dissection. People opted out
Yeah.
of the deer dissect, right? We've had people opt out of those things.
Okay. So it's a thing.
Yeah.
It happens. And are they questioned for any of that?
Has not been relevant.
Okay.
I mean, the only opting out that has been apparent so far this year was of the suicide prevention training. And further questioning was not appropriate in that time. It was
Yeah,
evident.
I feel like it's asking for a conflict where we shouldn't have a conflict.
No.
Because the parent will feel defensive.
Depends on how the staff member
They
presents.
get to say,
Because I had to call plenty of people about immunizations. I mean, have a conversation, you know. I think it can be done
Maybe we
respectfully.
should Put our energy there.
I think,
Something that's more
Okay. Okay.
that we-
I just feel like, I think sex education is paramount right now. We have a national crisis dealing with transgender,
Right.
transgender.
I don't disagree either, but I also think parental rights are paramount.
Okay,
We are,
you can still opt out. But I think it's good to hear the rationale, but this is, yeah.
Well,
I-
we require a rationale for the immunization.
Yeah, you just signed and you're good.
right,
okay, so if I say
Here.
to the committee,
Well-
consider requiring an interview before granting an
Yeah,
opt-out.
just let the committee decide. I'm fine with that.
We have
Sorry.
certain religious-
Well, it's good you brought it up because I never would have thought to bring it up, so. Before granting opt-out. Okay,
Do we have a motion on the floor for this one?
No.
I would move that we send this one back to committee with notes.
I'll second.
Alex seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, human immunodeficiency virus.
That's straight up
You wanna put that up?
boilerplate. I support that one.
I don't understand the first paragraph.
I don't
First sentence.
understand any of that. We
Yeah.
don't tell anybody anything about anybody's background, like medical background. Is that what this is saying? Like, I don't understand why this is a thing all on its own and it doesn't go into like a big HIPAA thing that's like you,
It's
you know.
required by the state.
No,
That's why.
what's that?
It's
It's
required by the state. That's why. I mean, what happens is
It's-
yes,
It is.
these are
Here's the
all
law.
required by the state.
It's everything that has been presented so far. Even the sexual performance evaluation is
State's wording.
the exact language the state has used.
Yeah, I think Mark just.
Believe it or not.
chunked it.
Yep, that's.
Yep.
Totally. And another component here, I think while we're in this policy weeds, which we are absolutely in, is like Silver Cobra. This is all outsourced. There's a whole, they pay someone to just do and sort
The School Boards Association.
all of the, yes. So if you're ever interested, this piece right here will bring you to the specifics of the law, and then you can come to the realization that often what is in legal, again, to revisit this, what is in the legal book and rules does not necessarily align with what one would think would be common sense, or what one would think would be beneficial to all,
Mhm.
but it is what the law has said.
But I literally don't understand the first paragraph. So here's sentences.
See, but it's appropriate access to education. You can't discriminate against.
Yeah.
Children with.
Because that happened a long time ago. It's not happening. Well, you
In
can't,
what
can't
sense does our
participate in
policy-
athletic events because if you bleed on somebody.
Yes.
Now it's saying, no, you can't keep people out.
I guess that's why I was confused about it, is because this seems like very much a policy from the nineties.
It does. It's a.
Before we knew anything about anything, right? And this is just not how we behave and,
I mean, it seems also innocuous enough to be like,
yeah, I guess.
you know, like,
Yeah.
it's not telling us we can't do anything or we have to do something.
I feel like I'm ready to support this.
Okay, great.
Yeah, me too.
It's an HIV performance, I would
Sorry, this is one of those Twilight Zone things. That first sentence still makes no sense. Despite all of you saying it makes sense
Let's
to you.
read it out loud.
ALCS policy for students infected with HIV provides appropriate access to education and their privacy rights will be protected.
So the policy isn't providing.
Thank you. The policy isn't provided. The policy is that the school shall provide, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so let's just change that.
And ALCS,
Policy is,
no, we take out the word policy. No, this is our policy. The policy doesn't say what the policy is. The policy just says it.
Start with students,
Infected,
students
right.
infected with HIV provide.
ALCS.
No, not provide,
Students-
they receive.
Receive.
Aldo
Receive.
provides to them.
Receive appropriate access, yeah.
ALCS will receive, shall receive. I don't care between shall and will. Appropriate access to education.
No, not may receive. Because then
No,
we have a choice.
definitely not may.
Yeah,
It's
Shall
will,
or
not shall.
will?
Shall goes with
or
first
are
person.
entitled to.
Shall what?
Shall goes only with first person.
But shall is.
Will,
No.
no.
What, shall is not.
So laws, okay, fine. I'll accept that.
Well,
Will.
Law is full of shells. In the third person.
Are you talking to me? Or are you saying?
This is really, let's not spend.
Yeah, let's not.
Doing this.
And
can just send it
period after education,
Well, we don't need to send it back. We,
students' privacy rights. These students' privacy rights will be protected.
Can we change it and approve it and not send it back?
Yes.
Can we?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, okay,
I mean, if we think we're gonna offend someone on the committee by doing it, then we should consider it.
yeah.
These, no,
Mostly just
It's
seems
after
the
like-
the
apostrophe goes after
Oh,
the
yeah,
yes.
multiple.
Thank you. Okay, now I understand it. But isn't, okay, and then the next one is about employees.
appropriate. What is that? Sorry. Just get rid of appropriate, like.
Oh, but, okay, so that's from,
Will receive
Federal
access to
law,
education.
right, a free and appropriate public
Yeah,
education.
yep.
They-
Does that mean, that means they get accommodations?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
all right, so put it back.
Can we put appropriate back since that's the term of art?
undo.
Nice.
Okay, I move that we approve.
Where's
Has been.
where's the out of school time grant for this?
Who moved? Who made the
I move
motion?
That we approve the human immunodeficiency virus policy.
I second.
As
amended.
Aaron
I
seconds.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Sorry if I got too worked up.
I think I started it because I was like, why is this different than any other disease? Like, I just, but it's from the 90s, that's why. they
It
haven't
is, I
updated
think you're
it.
exactly right.
Yeah, they just haven't updated it, so thank you for reminding me.
We're having fun. It's
Immunizations policy. Jim, have you anything to say on this?
Does it look good?
I have a question on it.
Okay, Alex.
First of all, it's this, why are, I don't get why active military town, that's not my question. Can you scroll up, please?
Up or down?
Down.
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 I have trouble with that.
Mhm.
So this is the most stressful part.
Okay, there's no time limit on this,
Disenrollment.
so it doesn't really
It's that
have an effect.
So I gotta tell you, there were people out of compliance every year I was
Yeah.
nursing, and we just never disenrolled anybody for that reason. But we did have conversation with the parents about
Did we commence disenrollment but never finish?
it. Never,
6 years?
to my knowledge, we never commenced any. I mean, I only
After 6
served
p.m.
under two directors, so
6 years.
Do public other, like, would Silver Heights enroll somebody? Would they just be like,
So-
you're done? Out.
Drea says they were more aggressive than Armstrong was. with
Is this if they
I
have
forget where
denied
Drea
it?
looked though, but
It's one of those things where you have the option,
And the satisfactory evidence
Who has
is
the option?
religious.
the school would. If
Right.
they-
and if
Really?
here, it
Yeah, I don't
actually
think we do.
says
Well,
Demonstrable evidence. like,
same
you
thing,
have-
like if you miss,
you have
you know,
to-
like the
you have to say
attendance,
your
Yeah.
part first.
you have the option to disenroll a student after a certain number of days. You
I
do
thought
not,
after 10 you had to.
you do not have to. You have the option to.
I'll be darned.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
So that's why
I
there's
thought
no.
we had to.
In the, well, in the pre-COVID era, yes. In the
Mm.
post-COVID era, following the Every Student Need
Oh.
Act, you do not.
That explains it.
I don't have any objections to the policy as written. The only thing I never liked the hypocrisy of saying that you didn't want your child to have immunizations for religious reasons, because very frequently it was a health reason. It was an attitude about the body's natural ability to fight
Yeah.
disease. Maybe that's a religion, I don't know, but I don't feel like it's worth.
But is
quoting
that-
if it's strangely
if you're
enough.
an-
Well, is that listed in the law though as one of the,
Yeah.
the reasons? So we can't really do anything
No.
about it.
No, we can't. I think we just
Yeah.
work around it.
Right.
So I don't really propose any changes.
And do we have the forms for this one in the
Yeah.
packet and everything?
Oh, yeah.
really?
This one's already,
That's
this is
something
a-
I'm gonna
this is a-
feel like-
because this is frequently.
Yeah.
with
So
some-
this is just a matter of putting this policy on the book somewhere. We've been doing it.
Correct, yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Why are military families different? Why are they saying that?
Because they move around a lot and at some point there were complaints that they weren't being enrolled easily.
I see.
And the legislature said, we're gonna support our families, military
Okay, but now
families.
it's all online. So.
Well, but it's hard to get, we've got a good New Mexico data, but data system, but like if a
That's-
kid comes in from Oregon or
see.
Florida, it's like a big chase.
That's not a national.
Yeah, it's not national.
Yeah.
Just one reason. why.
Okay, I move that we accept this policy.
Second,
Do you mind pausing a moment before we vote? I want to read what it says.
Oh, yes.
You,
Fluttering ever, Harry.
just, that's why I took my glasses.
You can read that.
These are so good.
Yeah, they're a favorite of them.
I'm just trying to see if it's true that
Yeah.
we don't actually have
There's no-
to.
Yeah, I think they're great. Yeah. You might, if you're really, we better check if you're.
It's a good idea, Aaron.
Administrative authority shall,
The whole meeting is standing.
here's an example.
When one person sits
It's not
down,
first person.
meeting's over.
Okay, can I read what the law, I'm sorry, this is administrative code, but it has the force of law. It's not a statute. The administrative code says if they don't provide a signed exemption thing, and if they don't provide valid evidence of immunization, the administrative authority, which I believe is the school, shall commence disenrollment proceedings. It doesn't say may.
All right, this one says will.
I don't mind between shall and will, but we were just discussing how we had the choice.
I just
Well-
says you can commence disenrollment proceedings,
That's
Yeah.
what
meaning you
I-
disenroll them.
So we're gonna go with that loophole, okay?
You can start the proceedings, right? Whatever those proceedings are,
I
that's up
mean,
to
the
us.
percentage of.
Presumably is up to us.
Is it possible that
Okay,
the administrative decision maker is actually the state? Because what the state would do, they would say, can you tell me that this parent has started this? Because you can't just go one day and get all these immunizations. You have to show that, well, they finally got around to having the hepatitis B. Are they scheduled? And that's how we work with them. So is the administrative decision maker the state, or is it Will?
school superintendent, the school
And
district
we-
superintendent.
We don't have that, so.
I believe it's the superintendent of the district. Based on this.
Is the-
Okay.
The word that wording.
Oh, here we go. It's specifically designed. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's defined as superintendent, principal, or the designee of such person. So it's not the department, it's us. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm fine with the loophole that all we have to do is commence
Okay,
disenrollment.
That's it.
all right.
Acceptable loophole.
Okay.
So I move that we accept the immunization policy as is.
Yep,
We already moved, we already seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, I seconded it, yeah.
okay.
Tanya, I blew it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, okay, I'm not convinced, but it's fine.
4.5 to 0.
So,
That's all of them.
Perhaps that
New
seems
business.
tedious, but I thought it was important, so.
Yay, team.
Thank you all.
ooh,
Um. The ones we're sending, sorry, I'm just making a note to myself. We're sending back dental. We're sending back health curriculum opt-out. Okay, just those two.
Yeah.
Under new business,
60%?
60%. It's failing.
That's.
It's not a D in our
That's
school.
Yes, now.
Check the policies.
Yeah.
New business. And how, Will, do you want to talk about this?
Sure.
Awesome, thank you.
I don't think that we can truly provide an offer at this time. The key holdup for the offer is we are getting Jose Barrios Elementary School reappraised with a forecasted appraisal to accommodate the 1.3 estimated $1.3 million of capital improvements needed to reach the PSFA occupancy standard and the average weighted NMCI. The reason for that, and if you don't know what that's okay, it's fine. The reason for that is because if we can get a new appraisal at a larger sum than the $2,020,000 of the current appraisal, then the NMFA, who is ultimately the purchasing agent in this deal, would be able to provide Silver consolidated schools with more money, which would accommodate their desire for more money for the building while still leaving the 1.3 million to go into the capital improvement. That makes sense? So that's the big holdup for now. And again, there's this document would, once that information is completed, they plan to be done on the 15th of December.
Okay.
The appraiser.
The appraiser. Monday, yep. And then that information will go right to NMFA. And the ball gets rolling on that end, because after that, there's no more, we're really not gonna argue about what the value of the building is. Now we've appraised it twice. We have a seller's appraisal and we have a buyer's appraisal, and that's at the minimum in the middle of there, we're getting closer to something that is agreeable for all folks. Yeah, get it later.
Just a small point. It's not a buyer's appraisal. We are reimbursing Silver.
That's true.
It's still a seller's appraisal. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't think that we've asked for our own appraisal. They are adding to what they already did. The main reason I'm okay is I personally, it seems like a reasonable appraisal. I don't see any sense that it's been jiggered. But if people have concerns, you should know that it is being done. And Silver is the client. We are not the client. We're paying for this additional work because it's only 2,000. Silver paid for the first part, which was 5,000 or so. I didn't really feel like we should have to pay for the full amount of this
That's right.
because Silver is benefiting and we're not.
Yeah.
The result of this will be that Silver gets more money, not that we save anything. But the fact that they paid 5, now we're paying 2, also felt reasonable to me. And it's a pittance when you're looking at 1.3 million of repairs. It's just not that much money to cause a problem for the process.
So this demonstrates an effort on Aldo's part to do right,
I sure hope
do
so.
the best we can do for Silver Consolidated.
I feel it does, as does Will going to the prospectors. In that case also, whatever comes out of that increases what Silver gets for this building. I feel like these things demonstrate a great deal of goodwill.
Yeah, it's a good faith effort to say, even if we don't end up in this building, we want it taken care of with a new roof, for instance. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I would say good faith and a significant effort, a lot of work to do these pieces. And as I've said to the senator and the representative at Prospectors, I have no desire to, I mean, I'm not willing to give Silver as much money as is fiscally responsible of us. And if it costs $2,000 to free up the money to get this thing going, then that's a price that we're willing to pay. And I think that's it's a good caveat that we are buying a seller's appraisal. But really it's the company is Collier International. If you're interested in that at all, that's what they do, I suppose. So anyway, that's the next step. And then once that sum is determined, then NMFA will get back involved and we will present something along the lines like this. And the question mark is going to be the reappraised value. And so that's kind of the missing link. And these are the 3 entities involved, the NMFA, Aldo, and Silver Consolidated. Okay. NMFA will be the actual owner of the building, and so an Aldo will enter a lease to own agreement for a term that is dependent upon our annual lease reimbursement and whatever the purchase price winds up being. Does that make sense?
Who drafted that?
Me.
Well done.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm a
I
lawyer.
thought maybe we were gonna ask our lawyers.
I did.
Oh,
I sent them I sent them a handful of I sent them this
Mhm.
and a handful of things multiple times.
and they were fine with this.
well done.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Will. That's awesome.
So that's that. I do intend to go to there's another document to pull up, a couple more documents to pull up, my mistake. I do intend to go to the Silver School Board meeting, which is also on the 15th in person. Just to give them the verbal update of where we're at. Obviously, I've been chatting with Will.
Are you on their agenda or just in the public comment period?
I should be on the agenda, but I cannot speak because I've not seen it yet. But I did talk, Will
Oh,
Hawkins
you
and I
have.
have been talking, I was like, I'm gonna go and chat and again, because I have no interest in not having a great relationship with Silver, because I mean,
Shall one of us show up?
Yeah, it's just.
you can
I
absolutely
mean, it's
show
their
up.
board meeting.
It is a
we can have our
public-
Board come too, just for fun, just for,
Well, I'd asked this question before and there was some concern about it feeling like it's a pressure campaign. So that would be the one reason to stay away. It's up.
yeah.
Fair.
I don't know, I guess I see it as like, we're all getting updates from our one employee, us board members, right? I think it's just kind of a nice show of like support. We're all on the same page. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's a public meeting, yeah. If you want to go, I mean, more than I've been to them before. I watch them. If I can't go, I watch them. And yeah,
But we should issue a potential quorum notice.
I was gonna say
If
that.
there are reasons.
Okay, thank you for saying that.
That's
'cause
okay.
that's
We
something
can
I
do
wouldn't
that.
have thought of, yeah.
But if we know that at least three of us are gonna go, then we should do that.
Okay.
You know, you can, three people can show up, you're not violating anything, but if we know it's gonna happen, we should do this. I don't think I'm gonna go. So guess I'm polling you all to see if we need to issue a notice.
I don't think I will.
I'm no ego, that's still a little too much.
What time is it? What time is the thing? The meeting?
6.
6? I'll go.
All right, I'm not going.
Okay, so you're free to decide.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Let me not go.
What day? What's going on? Oh,
I was distracted.
Oh,
Policy for appropriate school conduct.
Yeah, I didn't read those two there
Either.
because I only read the 5 that we were.
Right.
Yeah, because we agreed just to read the 5 in all capital letters.
What
The
happened?
health
oh,
related.
but this is like a
Yes.
first read of these, right? So we don't need to take action on these, right? Maybe.
Correct, so.
It says discussion, yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's-
I was hoping that
Okay.
we had discussion and I think I might have failed.
That's okay, I mean, we can, these are, so sort of like what was supposed to occur with all the health ones was. Here's the next crop of policies
Right.
that the policy committee has approved.
Mhm.
We'll bring them up. I can have a brief discussion about them and then they will be in the folder for your review and then feedback. And then at the next governing council, there'll be an
Yes,
action
totally
item.
makes
Okay.
sense. Totally makes sense.
And I should say there's just maybe to clarify, I don't know if this is, it doesn't matter, but the appropriate school conduct policy is for families, parents, visitors. It's not for students.
Okay.
and so it is in the folder?
Yep, everything is, it's all in the OneDrive policy folder. Everything is in there so far. It could be,
And
it ought to be organized a little bit more, but yeah.
well, I sent emails this afternoon.
Yeah, so
to everyone with direct links to the folders.
that was great.
So that you could find them. So hopefully you can find them and, yeah, I can organize the policies folder a little bit more.
I think we could do like an approved and, cause like we already have the
Yeah.
grade change to
Okay.
D is in there for further review and
Okay.
then action, there's probably 2 or 3
Yeah, I can set that up.
subdivisions that would help this process.
And I copied the policies that we would be reviewing at this meeting into this meeting's folder.
Yeah, thank you for doing
So
that,
that they would, I mean,
Nice.
if
That was
that's
good.
helpful.
No, I thought that
but
was-
not including these two.
No, because,
Right.
I don't know why. Because I didn't. I don't know, I didn't notice them. Yeah.
So do we need,
I'll move them into the next meeting's
Yeah,
folder,
thanks.
because those are the, I'll start a folder for next meeting's documents. And those policies will be copied into, but they'll all be still in the policy folder. You can always find them in the policies folder. I won't move them from there. I'll just copy them. Mhm.
so we don't really need a motion. All we need is an understanding among the members of the GC that we will review these and discuss them
Yeah.
in perhaps less detail than we did tonight at the next meeting.
I think it's, I mean, and I'll say this on the health thing in the detail of, I don't think that many of the current staff. Like, there's such a lack of awareness about those health ones. They said completed, ready for
Exactly.
governing council approval, and so I don't think that they necessarily warranted the same level of input as the other policies would. For example, the policy for family, parent, visitor behavior is a modified version of what you would have at any public school in New Mexico, but this one was modified to cater to Aldo. So the reason for that is that there is, as is relevant now from the 2021, whatever policy that was, there's a significant backlog of these that were never approved by the governing council, and so we're just trying to play catch up, and because of that, it might warrant further discussion. It might make these meetings a little bit longer. Maybe we have to have a special policy session at some point to tick these things off, but so we're trying to fill in a deficit. That's really what why we're
Well,
here.
maybe 5 health ones was a little bit of a large.
Only
Right,
because they
right.
ended up being the ones we had to think about.
Right, exactly. So next time, I'm not worried about next
Right.
time with just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but my plan was to give you more. How many do you want?
2.
That we will not get done.
This year.
Well,
I thought it just was I thought it was
There's
This
a bunch
one.
more. Yeah, the fiscal year.
Right, so we've got 6 more months.
We will not get done
No, there could be.
if we only do 2 a month.
I thought there were 9.
No, there's more.
Oh, then I
Who said 9?
misunderstood.
Okay, we
Well, because there were 9 that were mentioned at the last meeting.
Yeah, Alex,
put the, in the folder
all of them?
and then read them as we go and then have a, I mean,
Yes, we can put them in the governing council folder to be reviewed, but they first have to be voted on and approved by the policy committee. That's the checks.
Okay, guys,
The
so
balances.
we caught up to the policy committee yet?
No, but
That's
we
the
are,
9.
we are getting close to the policy committee because,
Okay,
That's the 9.
so I think.
Clearly there's
we're
a-
with 2, because we're not that far behind them.
and it's a
Because-
break and the next meeting is pretty soon, so I don't want to add
Right,
too
so
many
there'd be
anyway.
5, 6, 7
Yeah.
that we got, there's only 9, so that's 2 more for the follow-up meeting, and so I
Sure.
feel fine with that, if we just keep pace with them.
Shall we see? exactly
Yeah, let's
how many
see.
remain?
Let's see.
see,
That's a
because
good
it
idea.
sounds like there'll be more. Like there's
Policies for
ones that are
GC
ready to
approval.
go, But there's more than.
There you go. So this one's been approved. That one can be moved into a different, I'm not gonna do it now, but this can be moved into a different category. 1, 2. Okay, so there's 11 total, but we've approved some of them. So we approved 3 tonight. 1 earlier in the year. So
Out of
11,
11.
yes.
But I think there are more coming, right?
Oh, there's,
That's the
Potentially.
part I was concerned about.
yeah, no, there's potentially like endless policies.
But we're not the rate determining factor, I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Right.
it's the
I
policy
hear you.
committee is, so if we
We'll
just
stick with
keep,
2 for the next
yeah, we
one.
just keep pace with them.
Exactly, as soon as, yeah.
If the committee deals with the 2 that we're sending back, can we add those? Because we've seen them and discussed them? Is that okay with you?
Yes.
That seems fair.
Okay,
That seems fair.
Yeah, there you go.
okay,
It's a good.
I'm happy.
Nice. Okay. And if you're interested now, these policies are far more digestible. And this is, for example, this is an obscure one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, the key to all of these policies that you're like, what is this about? Is just go look at the
Yeah.
law. Go look at the law and you'll still have confusions, but at least you will understand the origin and know that it's not someone in the
we-
policy committee who's like, well, what about?
Yeah.
Say this.
So here's the thing, I think on some of the health ones, it wasn't on there, the law, cause I was
Yes.
looking for it with my eyeballs, cause if it's late. Because if it had said that, then I'm like, whatever, it's just something, it's a hoop we have to jump through.
Yeah.
Right,
So if you could make sure, or somebody could tell the policy committee, make sure that source is on there, that would be super helpful.
So maybe the ones I printed, they all, 4 of the 5 have them.
Oh, okay.
But you might not have recognized it because
Yeah,
it's up here in this case.
or, and if it doesn't have the little squiggly
Yeah.
law thing.
And there's also the key, if it starts at 22, it's a statute.
Okay,
And if it starts with 6, it's administrative code.
okay.
So that's
Okay.
maybe helpful.
Yeah, I just maybe want something I can recognize, and like Will was saying, just pull it off, stick it into the Google, hit enter and find the thing.
That probably works.
Yeah,
yeah.
so that could help if the policy committee doesn't mind making sure that that's on the documents
I
out
think
there.
they are, is my point.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and that's what I'm trying to do now too, is make it very clear and obvious which ones have been approved and the date that they've been approved. And that's part of why we have this confusing backlog.
okay,
Because some policy committee way in the past said, yep, these are good to go, but we don't know when or who or
yeah,
why.
yeah, gotcha.
And so in order to expedite the process, there was an
Yeah.
assumption made
Yeah.
that the ones that said completed, ready for governing council approval
Okay.
were completed and ready for governing
Gotcha.
council.
That's
But
what I apologize.
That's what you all are here
So-
for, is to say, well, wait a second.
Yeah, is it also safe to assume that anything that we see is because somebody's telling us we have to do it?
No,
Like
Not
any of the
completely.
policies,
not completely.
just because they're.
Okay, cause that helps me get my lens straight. you know what I mean?
Most of them now will be because they were identified by Kelly Callahan as things that are required
Okay,
that we didn't have,
okay.
That's
but not all of them.
Okay, but I'll be able to find the little thing that I can look for the statute if I need to.
Yeah.
To find.
Like the grading policy, right? That
Yeah,
was-
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, it just would be nice to know if I'm looking at something. And I don't mean to call it all hoop jumping, because I do understand but there's some of it that's hoop
That's very
jumping,
polite of you.
you know?
Hoop jumping is
Um,
safe.
yeah, So it's nice to know which is which, I guess, because then I can decide where to spend my time.
Yeah,
Whether
Yeah.
it's worth
Yeah.
not doing anything.
That's the issue.
I agree.
Because I can get worked up about things. If you haven't noticed. It'd be nice to know what I should get worked up about.
I think I used the phrase impassioned discussion in reference to you in the minutes.
Definitely in an uproar about sexual practices.
Oh, you should have seen.
Performance.
Did you see what I wrote?
Even better.
Yeah, you saw what I wrote.
See what you wrote.
Okay, I think we can move on from new business to GC input. I have a couple things, but I see that Alex has
I'm
something.
just curious, who's bringing snacks this week?
I already went.
Hopefully it's next
Was
week.
it talking?
Yeah, next
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go.
Really?
Okay,
Sure. I just didn't want to
Be
not
great.
go with snacks.
if it was
If it
you.
was my turn.
It's kind of thing now.
Yeah.
Minutes will reflect that Alex Tager volunteered to bring snacks. Does anyone else have input, questions, discussion? Then I have a couple. One, we all received an invitation and then an extension of a deadline to RSVP. And then yet another extension of a deadline to RSVP
Perhaps desperate.
for a dinner in Las Cruces,
To do something.
to which we may not bring our partners. This is, I called to find that out. To meet and receive a free book on governance with our Public Education Commission.
And a dinner.
It's a
Food?
dinner at the Encanto Hotel.
Mhm.
Food is included with the dinner.
Drinks?
What a deal. I
Do you
doubt
get
it
a drink?
very much. I doubt it very much.
Right.
I suspect you could buy your own drink. They
Put
don't,
it in repeat.
generally don't spend public money on those things.
No, I
Um,
did see that.
I think it would be politic for as many of us to go as can.
Okay. Let's see
And
the
I think
date.
you've already said you're up for going,
I will go.
and I'm up for going.
Okay, date.
When is it?
Date.
It's February 6th, is that right? I've got it in my calendar. I'll double check.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
And you train that, actually.
TBD. We could all go down together if people are up for that. If people want to spend the night or get there early or whatever.
Friday the 6th.
That's right, it'll be a rolling
February 6th,
from
Friday, yeah.
in the vehicle.
The quorum car.
So it'd be a
Rolling
rolling,
quorum.
rolling.
Yeah.
Party bus.
She'll be here.
I can hear the bass bumping right now. Rolling, rolling.
Okay, so I'm just gonna think about that. You are asked to RSVP.
Name or name.
Yeah, I gotta find the.
Alex.
RSVP to you. and
No,
they-
you are asked to RSVP
Okay.
directly to
Okay.
the
Cause I haven't done.
E
PEC.
What was it
Personnel.
called? Who did it come from or what was the?
Came from the Charter School Division. But let me look, maybe it came directly, I'm confusing it within my next
Oh,
item,
here it is,
so I don't
Melissa
know.
Brown.
You can look up for
Came from
content.
Melissa Brown.
There you go.
Cordially invite you in big font. Please RSVP by December 21 on this link. Do you have that?
I do have it.
Okay.
Got time.
Oh, it came during Thanksgiving break.
Well, yeah.
One of the times.
Okay.
Okay, second item, also related to the Public Education Commission. I think we all received, I have no way of knowing because it's a list. And a message today, this morning, from Rebecca Burke, who was the new chair
Hmm.
of the PEC. And it's a really interesting message. It's about what happens with the 2% of our state equalization and guarantee funding that goes to our authorizer. This is part of charter school law, that 2% of our SEG goes to our authorizer. When we were district authorized, they got the 2%. Now that we're state authorized, the PEC gets our 2%. They're required to report what they're doing with it, but until now, they have not effectively reported that. What she sent, I thought was truly remarkable. 5.7 million roughly is what they collect, the PEC, from the 2% from all the charters that they authorize. That's a chunk of money. They spend roughly half of that on things that directly benefit charter schools. And they spend the other half on things that benefit all schools. And what I read between the lines, certainly Rebecca Burke didn't say this. I read that she doesn't think this is right. And that she's finally giving us this information that I have always assumed all of it gets spent on us, because that's the only thing that makes ethical sense. They have prepared a survey, and they would like any and all of us to fill out the survey. I've already done it because I was incensed. And the survey is about what they should do with that money. So I encourage you all to go ahead and do that. And I sent her a special email of appreciation that she is being so transparent. They also, in this surprising document,
I'm sorry,
admit what?
came from
Rebecca Burt. They admitted that 13% of the 5.7 million this year, actually, it was 13% of the 5.2 million the previous year. They don't know this year yet. Was reverted to the state. They didn't spend it on anything educational. It just went straight back to the state. So, and that had the same percentage applied to the year before that. So I took all this to be a sort of, hey, call us to task on these things because we want some political backing for changing.
Sounds like there's our $59,000.
Has Matt Paul responded to this message yet?
I have no
Do
idea.
we know of?
Not that
Because-
I knew. of. Came
Yeah.
out this morning.
Okay, yeah.
I got it this morning.
Right.
He's probably got it a week ago or something.
Yeah.
right? But
Because I would appreciate some guidance from him. I mean, he knows a lot more about, I think, how that money was spent. I don't know.
Well, but you can use, I mean, you all are familiar with our school.
Right.
You're
That's the
familiar with,
survey.
most of us are familiar with what the charter school division does, where they come down with site visits. Some of you might be familiar with the fact that we got a small grant from the PEC to work on a finding that their site visit identified as a problem for us, special ed, we used it for special ed. So when they ask, what can we do with the money that's useful, you can call on that knowledge, you don't need math. I said, hey, that grant to help us deal with the problem, that was a really good idea, why don't you do more of that?
Yeah.
Right, that was really helpful. And I certainly said, you should not be funding general operations out of this money, that's inappropriate. Was my diplomatic language. And you should not be letting any of it revert to the state. That's just leakage of our funds. So you don't need Matt to say any of those things, but I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I recommend consulting with Matt on almost anything. Very knowledgeable.
I
Yeah.
didn't see that. Did it go to all of us?
I don't know that.
Let me see.
I'm
It wasn't
curious.
in my email today.
I'm the only one who got it. Rebecca Burt, 8:45 a.m. this morning.
See, we're-
It could have gone into my junk box.
2C, REBECCA.
REBEKKA. Yeah, one of those parents. Jeez. At least there's no H at the end.
Yeah, I don't see it unless they came. It's
It's like a Jewish spelling, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's the H is the.
Yeah, that's right. That's the gift.
The H is
Bert,
I take-
B-U-R-T.
B-U-R-T.
Yeah, I don't have.
Should have done that.
I'm embarrassed for it.
Hindsight's always a good one.
Yeah, I've got an E at the end of my last name. Very annoying.
Motion to adjourn?
Well, okay, so you're all, do you
Nobody's-
need me to forward this or do you need me to find out if
Nobody
everybody's
seems to,
eligible?
nobody
I'm
else.
I would appreciate the
Right
forward.
there.
I'm the only one who got it.
Copies, yeah.
Okay, thanks. With all of that, is there any further
You
business?
can forward things.
No, I move that we adjourn.
We can't respond.
I'm not even entertaining that motion. Hearing no further business, we're adjourned.
Harry, do you want to give the
There's
backstory on
the
that?
official
A little-
AHS.
I did.
Cool.